If you are trading time for money in your consulting business, then you're making things harder on yourself than they need to be. You have lots of opportunities to maximize what you're doing for your clients and get maximum value for it. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to package your consulting services. Like, what's the value you can bring to your clients to differentiate yourself and also close more clients. Hey, it's Samantha Hartley of the Profitable Joyful Consulting Podcast. Today, I am going to be talking about one of the 10 drivers of a consulting business. Now, there are 10 drivers. This one is transformational offers. Well, you could just call it offers, but we don't really want to just make plain old offers. We want to make transformational offers. We want to bring value to our clients. We want to do things for them that actually transform them, like get monumental results, specifically lasting, sustainable change for them. That's the way that I think about the transformational offers that I teach my clients to do. So you know that I think of transformation as at least a year long. These are offers that can be in the $100,000 range to in the $1 million range, whatever brings that maximum value to your clients and compensates you for having done that transformation. So today specifically, what I wanted to talk about was packaging that offers. Like, what do I put in that thing that I sell? Here's why I want to talk about this, because I want to bring your intentionality to this area. A lot of consultants are just selling time, and that's great. We've talked before about advisory services. Advisory services are like one of the simplest ways you can do consulting. You like show up, you give advice, you leave, you get paid. Like, isn't that pretty simple? It is. But if you're doing pure advisory, then you're comparing your time against another consultant's time. And I never want the client to be able to say, oh, well, we pay you this much, and then we had this many hourly meetings, and then so that means you're making how much per hour? I don't ever want the client to be able to do that. And I don't want them to even want to think about things in that way. So I love for us to create offers that do two things. That they differentiate you from anybody else. Like, nobody else will have an offer exactly like this one. So it isn't an apples to apples comparison. And if they can't compare you to anyone else, then you stand out unique and differentiated. Years ago, when I started one of my first businesses online, I set up my brand and then immediately it got copied by other people. And I was like, that was really strange. So I made another brand and it got copied by other people, because on the internet, like, there's a million of my first business that I had, a little e-commerce business. There were a million coaches once I started doing that. There were a million consultants. There's a million of us out there, and we have to come down to like, what makes you unique? And sometimes somebody can say, they came out of the exact same corporate background. They worked with the same people doing the same stuff. They're in the same associations. So how do we really differentiate ourselves? Well, I think we can do that with a portfolio of benefits that we name to our clients and that we bring forward. And nobody else will be able to exactly copy the thing that you're bringing. Now, of course, no one is you, and you are the clearest differentiator in your brand. So that's part of the value that we're putting in this package. But I also want just to bring some clearer intentionality around the components of any package. Like, what is that portfolio value and portfolio of benefits that are in there? And then how do we communicate that? So what we're doing with these packages is that we're simplifying the communication to the client, and we're differentiating you from everybody else out there who could be doing something like this. Okay. So you're going to hear a lot about threes when we talk about this today. Why? Because 3 is a perfect number. There's 1, 2, 3. There's garlic, onions, and celery. There is bleu blanc rouge. There's Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Like, there's a reason why we remember things in 3s. So I have tried in the past with one of my brands to have 4 specific things that were the differentiators. And whenever I went to articulate it, I couldn't remember it. So if I couldn't remember it myself, it was going to be impossible for anyone else to remember that. So as you're crafting your own packages here, I want you to think in terms of like, there should be sets of 3. I had a client one time bring me a proposal to review, and it had like a menu of things that she was offering. I'm not saying that any of those individual things shouldn't be in there. I'm just saying you need to chunk it into buckets of 3, because people can simplify in their own minds. They can see things in 3s. So the first set of 3s that we're going to talk about are ways that you can work with your clients: DIY, done with you and done for you. So either the client can do it themselves, they can buy some kind of an e-learning or something like that, or there's an aspect of the work that you're doing where they do that part themselves. Done with you, which is usually you kind of coaching along with them. They work on a thing, they bring it back to you, or you co-work together on the thing. And then done for you. And this is when maybe you're a fractional marketing department or a fractional technical department, and you just do certain kinds of the work for them, whether that's implementing things on site for them, or implementing like a social media strategy or whatever. So those are the three categories of offers that we can make. We can sell something that's completely DIY, something that is done with you, that's usually like a coaching program, or we can do a done for you where we do things ourselves. I also kind of consider done for you when we're on site and it's like a very high touch, high level one-on-one work. So even though they have to implement it eventually, we are there doing a lot of the kind of the installing it into their organization is the part we're kind of doing it for them. So you can kind of think in those terms. So that's the first kind of set of threes. And you can think about where in that you want to live. Do you want to just do like really high touch one-on-one, which is what a lot of consultants do, where they come into the organization and they do a lot of things in the organization, kind of doing it for the client. Yes, of course, eventually the clients have to pick up the ball and continue with the implementation, but they are doing things for them. Done with you is, again, as I said, like it could be more of a coaching program where you are doing things with the client, and then you go away and then you kind of look at what they have done in the meanwhile. This is kind of like the hybrid of things. And then DIY is you just sell a thing. It can be like passive, where they buy something on your website, or you give it to them and then they can kind of take it from there. So let you yourself think about like what your particular offer could look like in that sense. The second way that I like to think about this is when I'm putting together my own consulting offers. To me, the core components, the most default, obvious ones are going to be coaching, curriculum, and community. So let's start with the middle one. Curriculum is the fact that you have an IP, you have intellectual property, you have a way of doing the thing that you do, which is unique to you. Now, if you're certified or licensed in somebody else's program, well, that's also the curriculum. You're bringing that certification that you are doing to this particular client. So that's curriculum. There is a way of doing things. If you've got an e-learning, if you have a whole, workshops or something that you do, that curriculum is unique. It's unique to you, probably. Again, if you're doing like the Stephen Covey thing and there's like 9,000 other Stephen Covey people out there, then this won't be the piece that's the differentiator for you. You're gonna have to figure out something else which will make you stand out. But remember that even when you come in for that done for you level, remember where I said it was just advisory? If you just come in with advisory, there is still curriculum in there. You can share things for your clients to listen to, or maybe books for them to read, or you can just share your knowledge and know-how. And that's unique. And a lot of consultants will just bill on time and forget, oh yeah, I have like a whole system, a whole approach that it is tested and proven to get results that I want the client to see and understand. So that is going to be part one, so the curriculum. Now, coaching is the piece that most of us think of, like that consulting, that advisory piece. Yes, that is almost always what we're including in every program, unless you have a done with you program where it's just community-based in there. Even actually in that situation, you're always there giving guidance, right? So the coaching and coaching and curriculum are always a part of this. And then the community piece. This is the piece that I think is especially important right now when we're all feeling so disjointed. Even in corporations where you go in and like it's a super toxic environment and nobody wants to do anything with anybody, what they're yearning for is community. They're yearning to connect with someone else who isn't crazy and who can not just commiserate, but can help them bond over their shared experience and pull themselves out of it and improve it. If they're bringing you in, they want to improve things. So think about how you can connect them with others like themselves. So community in corporate gigs can look like the same role from different divisions across the company. It can look like the same role with different divisions of other companies. It can look like small work groups, like the people that they work with every day. So they learn to do this skill with you, and then they can try it out on their own. But community can look a lot of different ways. I really love the idea of creating a year-long ongoing community in your projects, especially if you can get them an hour a month minimum outside of their work environment. And outside can be just virtual, like just connecting with other people so they get perspective on what they're doing. So coaching curriculum community is one of the most basic ways that you can package your services, and you bring that to your client as a benefit. Like there's unique benefits to every specific aspect of that, right? Coaching, you're going to give them your best advice. Curriculum, you're like, here's the tested and proven methodology system approach that I'm using, signature system. And then community, when your people connect to one another, they reinforce the learning and they support each other and they have accountability. So that's the sale on that. What if any of those doesn't work for you? You don't want the community aspect, or you don't want you don't feel like you have a curriculum. There's a lot of other things that you can put into your packages that will differentiate them while still being simple. Remember, when you're making that the offer to your clients, I want you to be able to say it in a 1, 2, 3 version, right? It should be, well, we're going to work together for this amount of time, and then here's what we're going to do over the course of our work together. This, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. It should be that simple. It shouldn't be, I'm going to do these 95 things for you. And it shouldn't be, well, I'm going to do this thing and my program is and all this complication. It should be, well, here's how it works. There's going to be coaching. You're going to get access to me on an ongoing basis. We're going to do this, this, and this. I have a curriculum, which is my yada yada system, and it's proven to do this. And community. I'm going to bring you together with other heads of HR across 5 of my client companies so that you can come together and compare best practices. There won't be any competitors in there. You're only going to be talking about the work that fits this, whatever, right? So three things that you present when you present that offer. So nobody goes away and is like, well, I can't even understand the thing, right? So when you're thinking of other things that you can add into here, you want to escape commodity status. So what other ways can you differentiate? So if it's not coaching curriculum community, are there specific, are there events? Is there a special event strategy that you can include in here, such as like a retreat, an offsite, nowadays we would call it an onsite, some sort of an event which is going to be transformative. Maybe there's 4 of those per year. So there's curriculum, community, and special events, or there are, oh, I love when there's like a gift that is critical to the transformation. So this can be, a journal. It can be a book. It can be, something else which is unique to your methodology, a yoga mat, whatever is the thing that is a part of it, a memorable branded gift can be meaning on brand for you, not necessarily like just with logo on it, but something that's meaningful to you and your approach. A lot of podcast producing companies will gift a new client a microphone, right? So something that's like, you're going to need this to be successful in the work. So think about what that could be for you. So we have talked about the importance of packaging your offer. So not just selling time, because that makes you a commodity. You want to package an offer that has a portfolio of value, a portfolio of different benefits. And portfolio to me means 3, so that it's clear, concise, and easily communicated. That simple offer is going to stand out in your proposals and in your verbal offers that you make, so that it's going to be easier for a client to understand and say yes to what you do for them. Packaging your offers is one of the 10 drivers of a successful consulting business. Now you can see the other drivers in my pyramid of drivers at my website, samanthahartley.com/super. You can download that pyramid and also assess yourself on how you're doing on those 10 drivers. Find out how successful your consulting business is and where you need to focus to get it to the next level. And with that, I am wishing you a profitable and joyful consulting business. Thanks. Thanks for watching. I'd appreciate if you'd like this episode, and if you enjoyed the show, why not subscribe? Be sure to click the bell to get notified when new episodes drop.